In this video, we're going to go through a series of mobility exercises. So mobility is your ability to move your joints freely, and it's important that you have good mobility for everyday movement. However, it's also important that you have good strength, especially in and around your back and the surrounding muscles. So make sure to look at our other strengthening videos for back pain in order to have the best results. Our first exercise that we're going to do is called cat camels, which is a really good mobility exercise for the lower back. So Jennifer is going to demonstrate the beginner version, which is the version that most people will do. So firstly, you want to isolate the movement to just the hips and the lower back. So Jennifer is going to keep everything here nice and tight and in one place. So she's going to squeeze her core and she's not going to move her shoulders. And then she's just going to arch her lower back and bring it back up. So you can see she has some nice movement there in her lower back and around her hips, but the rest of her body is staying the same way. So for all these exercises, we'll do 10 reps by 3 sets, and you can take a little break in between. This next video is a progression of the cat camels exercise, which I'd recommend trying if you're quite comfortable with the initial beginner version, which we just showed you, and if you want to try something a little bit more challenging. So in this video, I'll demonstrate myself the movement that you do. It's important to take it nice and slowly, especially when you're learning the technique, as it is a little bit difficult. But it'll teach your back to move in separate parts independently, and it's a good muscle stretch as well. So I'll just get into position now. So you can either put your hands flat like that, or if you have sore wrists, you can come down on your knuckles like this. So what we're going to do first is we're going to come up into full flexion like this. So I'm bringing my back up towards the ceiling, I'm pulling through my core, and I'm also tucking my head in like this. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up my head and keep everything else the same. Then with my elbows straight, I'm going to try to bring my shoulders and my chest down to the floor. So at this point, only my neck and my shoulders have moved and everything else is still flexed. Next, I'm going to start by arching my upper back down, keeping everything else the same as much as I can. Then I'm going to try to arch my mid back. And then I'm going to arch my lower back. And then my hips. So now we're in the fully arched position, and now we're going to do the reverse movement of this. So firstly, I'm going to arch my hips, back up, and then my lower back, followed by my mid back, followed by my upper back, my shoulders, and my neck. As you can see, that does take a little while to do, but it is a hugely beneficial exercise for any kind of back stiffness. So Jennifer is now going to show you what a more beginner version of this would look like. Obviously, because I've been doing this exercise for a while, it does look a little bit more like there's more movement with my one, but don't worry, everyone can get to the same point by just repeating this exercise. So Jennifer is going to start in the fully arched position. She has her core pulled up through her stomach and she's arched her back. She's just going to lift her head now. And then she's going to bring her shoulders down as much as she can. Lovely. And now you're going to slowly arch your upper back, your mid back, and your lower back. Excellent. And now you're going to go in reverse, so keeping everything the same. Well done. So same as the beginner version, we'd recommend doing 10 reps of this, or maybe starting with 5 reps and gradually progressing up to 10 reps as you get comfortable. Our next exercise is called a T-spine rotation, which refers to the thoracic spine, which is between the bottom of your neck and down to the top of your lower back. And this exercise is really great for improving our spinal mobility in this area, and can be helpful for reducing stiffness and reducing pain in this area as well. So Jennifer is going to start by lying on her side. And what she's going to do is bend her knees up, and she's going to keep her hips on the floor the whole time. So nothing really from your mid back or lower should be moving. It should be anchored to the floor like that. Her elbows are going to stay straight throughout the exercise as well. And all she's going to do is move this area of her shoulder over as much as she can. So don't go into an area of pain, only go as far as to where you feel sort of mild stretch, and then come back. And you want to go nice and slowly on this exercise as well. So in this exercise, you want to do 10 reps, take a short break, and do 3 sets. And we're not going to show it here, but of course you want to do this on both sides. So Jennifer is lying on her right hand side now, moving her left arm. You should also do this exercise laying on your left hand side and moving your right arm as well, so that you stretch both sides of the T-spine. this exercise is a side flexion stretch, which is a great stretch for the muscles on the side of your back, and also just for improving your general mobility in your back and your ability to move from side to side. So before we start the exercise, it's just important to say that if you do have balance issues, we wouldn't recommend that you do this exercise alone, but you could maybe do it under the supervision of a family member. So Jennifer is just going to show you. You're going to have one hand over the side of the chair and lean down until you feel a nice stretch on the opposite side. And then she's going to come to the other side and just lean down until she feels a nice stretch. And again, you should feel a stretch on the opposite side. So this is the beginner version. And once you're comfortable with this version, you can stand up, and we'll show you the more advanced version. So it's the same sort of movement. You have your hand down by your side, you're leaning down until you feel a stretch, standing up, and then back down to the other side. So for this exercise, you should do 10 reps on either side, so 20 in total. Take a short rest, and then do that for another 2 sets, so 3 sets in total. In this next video, we're going to show you what we call a forward flexion stretch, which is a really good mobility exercise for all areas of your back. It's important to note that this isn't just a simple drop down stretch, which Jennifer is going to show you. So this is a sort of slow segmental version where we're leaning forward with one part of the back at a time. So we're going to show you now. So Jennifer started by bringing her neck forward, then she's going to round her shoulders forward, then she's bending her upper back, then her mid back, and then her lower back. So only go down as far as is comfortable or until you feel a mild stretch. This shouldn't be causing pain. And then you're going to come up in reverse. So bring up your lower back first, then your mid back, then your upper back, then bring your shoulders back, and then finally bring your neck up. So it's a nice, slow, relaxed movement. Make sure to breathe throughout, and you're going to do 10 of these. When you're more comfortable with this movement, and don't worry, it might take a good few sessions before you get really comfortable with this movement, we're going to start it in standing. So Jennifer is going to start with bringing her neck down, then rounding her shoulders, then her upper back, her mid back, and her lower back until she feels a little bit of a stretch, but this shouldn't be painful. And then she's going to do the same in reverse, so lower back up, then mid back straight, upper back straight, shoulders back, and neck up. So do about 10 reps of this, take a little rest, and then do 3 sets in total.